In this video, I'm going to go over all the jigs I use that really simplify the cabinet building process. Honestly, a lot of building cabinets is just building glorified boxes, but these jigs really do help speed up the process on those repetitive tasks that do require some accuracy. So I'm going to really dive in deep on how they all work, and I have some that I'm going to suggest that you don't waste your money on as well. Let's start with drilling holes for the cabinet hinges. And I have a couple different ways that I do this, just depending on how much I'm doing really. Of course, there are big industrial grade machines that cabinet shops use, and that's not what we're talking about here in this video. But starting with this Kreg jig, Kreg makes very affordable DIY friendly products that really help, and this is one of them. I have drilled countless doors with this, and it just works. It does the job every time. The first thing that you set on this jig is the offset right here. It goes from 3 to 6 millimeters. You can just adjust these with a screwdriver, and it's changing this here on the back. And what that's adjusting is the offset on how far this hole is from the edge of the door. Most hinges that I use are 3 millimeters, so I don't really have to change this often. But that's just something, hinges are going to come with instructions, and it's going to tell you how far to offset that is, and then you can adjust it right here. Then there's this ruler here on the front edge. Hopefully you can see that. I colored in some of the numbers that I use often, but you're just going to take and line that up wherever I didn't build this door, but for example, this one is 3 3/4 of an inch from the edge to the center of the hole. A lot of times I'll just take and butt this up flush right here, and that puts my hinge at 4 inches. Drill that, move it down, make it flush on this side, 4 inches. A standard size door like this, anywhere from 3 to 4 inches is good, but really that's just going to depend on the size of door. For example, here on this small door on my router table, 4 inches on this wouldn't make sense because both the hinges would be right here in the middle. So something more like 1.5 inches to 2 inches from the edge is good on these. All right, with the offset set and then our distance from the top and bottom of the door figured out, we'll go ahead and clamp it in place. I like to either just use these Kreg quick clamps or one of these trigger clamps, just to keep swapping it back and forth as fast as possible. From there, you take the drill bit that's in this other shroud. It's got a stop collar here on the top, so if you can't drill all the way through the door, just set that where the line is here. You're just going to take and lock that in place there, and then go ahead and drill the hole. You can see there are 2 more little holes right here, and that'll allow you to pre-drill with a small bit for the screw holes on the hinge. Honestly, I don't really use those a lot. When I'm installing my hinge, I'll use a self-centering drill bit like this. Just what I prefer to do, but I highly recommend getting a good self-centering drill bit anyway for installing hinges, drawer slides, all sorts of hardware. That Kreg jig works amazing. It does the job every time. But like I said, if I have a lot of doors that I'm wanting to crank out, I'm going to bump up to the drill press. This is the Wood River drill press table that I have on here. And it takes a couple more minutes to set up, but once you do, you can just really fly through all the doors. With these stop blocks, you just drill one side there, flip it up, do this end. It's easy. Grab the next door, drill, flip. Just a lot more efficient to really fly through a lot of doors. All right, we've got the hinge holes drilled in the door, but now where the heck do you attach them to the cabinet? Of course, there's jigs for that. And depending on the style of cabinets, you have face frame like these, full overlay, inset doors. There's different jigs for all of it. And you can buy these, but something like this with a face frame, these are so simple. These are just homemade jigs that I would highly recommend just taking a minute, making them, and keeping them. But for example, this is a 1.5 inch face frame with 1/2 inch overlay doors, meaning they overlay the face frame all the way around by 1/2 inch. So here I just have a simple 1 inch block with a piece of wood on the bottom. And then I clamp that on the face frame, and that'll give me my 1/2 inch. I can just take and set the door on that block of wood and screw the hinges on. I have a couple different ones. This one's actually 1/2 inch and 3/4 in one. Clamp that on there. This is a 1/2 inch, so that gives me a 1 inch overlay. 3/4 that way. So you have a full overlay. You can just take any block of wood, clamp it on flush like that, set your door on it, and get the hinges installed. Incredibly simple, but really effective. Of course, you're still going to have to do some adjusting on the doors, left and right, in and out, but at least getting them all set with just a simple block like this, they're all at the same height to start. Now, European style cabinets without a face frame are a little different because we're not attaching the hinge directly on the face frame, so we don't really know where to set this hinge front to back. So of course we have another handy jig. This is the Rockler Jig It. This one's for inset doors, and I have another one for overlay where the door's on the outside, because of course your hinges are going to be in a different spot for that. But let's go back to drilling these holes in the door. Let's say the center of this hinge is 2 inches from the top and bottom, and say we want a 1/8 inch reveal all the way around. So all you're going to do is measure down 2 1/8 or up 2 1/8, make a mark, and then there's a center line on the jig. You just place it right on your mark, self-centering drill bit right into the holes there. Easy peasy. As you can see, it lines right up perfect with the screw holes on your hinge plate. Get that plate attached. And it's worth mentioning, not all hinges are 2-piece like this. It might just be all 1 piece, but you can still do the same thing. And that's it, it's that easy. You know, you can lay all this out manually with just a tape measure and pencil, but it's so fast and simple with jigs like that. While I'm here talking about these inset doors and drawer fronts, just wanted to highlight these 2 things real quick. It's not really a jig, but kind of. But a deck of playing cards and these plastic shims. These shims range from 1/32 to 1/4 inch or 1 millimeter to 6 millimeter. And they're just incredibly handy to have around for all sorts of things, like setting spacing on inset fronts. Really helpful for all sorts of things. So just wanted to point these out real quick. Up next are jigs for drilling door and drawer pull hardware. And I have 3 options ranging from I wouldn't recommend you buy to better to best. Up first is this Craig cabinet hardware jig. And honestly, I was surprised I even still have this. Found it buried in one of my drawers, but it's one of those things you buy when you first get started and you just realize how limiting it is and you upgrade to something else. But I'll still go over it real quickly. This back piece here, I don't really like how there's like no positive stops. You either have to use a square to square this up or just eyeball it. Get that locked in place to where you're drilling centered in your door here. But as you can see, there's no repetitive stops to be able to just quickly and easily line it up and drill in the same spot up and down from door to door. So you have to still lay out and measure with another tool to be able to use this. And what I mean by how limiting this jig is when it comes to the size of your hardware. You know, nowadays the hardware is getting really big. You know, people want 12-inch and bigger hardware. And even on these ones here in my shop, you can see this jig is not big enough to drill these. Another example here on these drawers is it is big enough to drill the actual pull itself, but to center it on the drawer front, you can see I have this maxed out as far as it can go, and it's not centered in the overall drawer front there. So very limiting. The main reason I wouldn't recommend this is I think it's like 30, 35 bucks probably. I would recommend this newer one from Craig, and this one's 50, but you have a lot more versatility with this one. As you'll see, this one is modeled after the next one that I'm going to show you, but you have a lot more capability here in terms of size. You can go all the way up to 8 inches there, so to be centered in a 16-inch drawer, and all the way up to 12 inches here for your hardware. As you can see, it's got great markings on here, easy to read and line up. Get those set to where it matches your hardware. And another upgrade with this one is you can see it has this stop on it as well. So you can quickly and easily repeat your holes from door to door. Just butt it up there, go to the next door. You know, they're all the same each and every time. You don't have to continue to mark out and find the correct distance top to bottom. And even though this is capable of a lot bigger hardware than the first one I showed, for example, here in my shop, these are bigger than 12-inch pulls here. So you're still going to run into instances where it's still not big enough. Back over to these drawers, as you can see, we're good top to bottom, but now for that repetitive stop, you know, it's great for doing doors, but you're going to run into problems with drawers unless, you know, your drawers are tiny. So you won't be able to have that quick repetitive stop to go from drawer to drawer here. You still have to find the center mark on each and every one. Now I would still recommend this. I just wanted to point out that there still are some limitations with it, but for the lower price end, you can't go wrong with that there. But if you want something to cover absolutely everything, now price-wise, this isn't going to be for everyone because you know you're jumping up to 200 here, or 250, or 300, depending on which model you get with what accessories. But this is the True Position Tools cabinet hardware jig. Now at the base here, it's very similar to that Craig that I just showed, but it's all these extra bells and whistles that really set this apart. You have this extension right here. Easy peasy in just a matter of seconds. And we can set this up. Of course, I'm just eyeballing this here for video real fast, but now you have your quick and repetitive stops, even on big drawer fronts like this. And there's absolutely no size limitation with this one, with these extensions here. You can do absolutely massive hardware. Just huge. You're not going to run into anything this one can't do. We can still take and add our stop on the end, and that will still slide in here as well. Not only is there no size limitations with this jig, it's just all the extra little things they include as well, like these little center points right here. Makes it really quick and easy to make sure you got your spacing correct. Just put them on there, then make sure each one is on the same dimension. You know, not all hardware is a perfect number. You know, some are really weird. So this just makes it you don't have to do any math. Just put it on there, make sure they're on the same number, easy as can be. Another really cool thing that these come with, say like on these shaker doors, you know, you don't want to tilt that and be drilling at an angle. So that's where these little bumpers come in play that they include. You just flip it over, screw them here on the back, there's a spot for them. You know, and you just thread it in or out depending on what depth you need. Back over to the drawer, and as you can see, they keep the jig from tilting in, keep you drilling square. As you can see, you definitely get what you pay for as you move up here, but we're still not done with this jig. There's more that it can do. Not only do these extensions let you do really large hardware, they're also the standard spacing for shelf pins as well. Just put that in place there, and you've got your drill bit with a stop collar. And get them all drilled real quick. And then of course for the front of the cabinet, you can set this at whatever depth you want. So you're able to bump it up on the front of the cabinet, get them all drilled. Now again, price-wise, I know this setup isn't going to make sense for a lot of people, but you still need to drill shelf pins. So another budget-friendly option I still recommend and use all the time is another Craig jig. You've got the drill bit and stop collar here on the back, the referencing pin. You've got this front edge here. You can line up on the front of a Euro cabinet, get your holes drilled. And you can pop this off. And then you can just take the back and put it tight to the back of your cabinet there and get those drilled. You can cut a block of wood if you want to start the holes at a certain spot. Just do that and then move both all the way around, get them drilled. Looks like what I did here is I just put it right on the bottom and drilled that first hole. And then you take this referencing pen and you can put it in that hole and then keep drilling up, and that makes sure you're maintaining the correct spacing all the way up. So yeah, this is another affordable jig that simply works, you know. Highly recommend it. Before I talk about one more cabinet jig that I'm going to recommend you don't waste your money on, I kind of just want to get your opinion on something when it comes to drawer slides. I think basically in all my build videos, and especially projects that I'm offering plans for, I'm always using these side mount drawer slides. I just feel like for the greater majority of people, it makes sense. You know, they're affordable, you can get them in soft close, it's less steps and easy to install. there's not as much adjustability as with the undermount slides, but again, they're a fraction of the price of those. And I don't have issues with these. They install easy. The one thing I will say is when I order them on Amazon, they're pretty gunked up with a thick grease. So I'll wipe them down and then just spray the slides with this WD-40 dry lube. Makes them nice and smooth. They work great. So that's just something I want to get your opinion on. Would you rather, when I do build videos and plans, would you rather see the undermount slides or just keep using these side mounts? But as I was saying, one more cabinet jig that I would recommend that you don't waste your money on. Again, I'm surprised that I even still have these laying around, but it's these Craig Drawer Glide jigs. I've just never liked these things. They're just not worth it in my opinion. But you can take and clamp it on your cabinet there to get your slide attached. No matter how you do this, you're gonna have to do math to figure out where these go. But once you have that, it's great for that part. You can do that, but then you're supposed to be able to flip it around and clamp it to set your drawer in and install the second part of the slide onto your actual drawer box. For one, there's no way to easily clamp this to a frameless cabinet like this, but even bumping over to a face frame cabinet, you're supposed to be able to clamp it on here, but you have to have a lot of clamping force to keep it from moving, and then you're just marring up the front of your cabinet. I've just never liked this. The jig I'd much rather use is just simply a piece of scrap wood. You're building a cabinet and stuff, you're gonna have scrap wood, or even if you don't want to use a whole panel like this, you can just use a couple skinny strips, one in the front and back. But start with your top slide where your panel's the largest size. Just put it in there flush, get your top slide attached, both sides. And then you can either cut this down or just use a different smaller piece of scrap wood to do the bottom one. Much easier. You're gonna have scrap wood laying around, so I'd much rather just use this than these jigs here. And rather than fussing with that style of jig there and trying to attach this part of the slide to the box while it's in the cabinet, I'd much rather just separate them. And what I like to do is, say this is a 8-inch box, I'll just strike a center line all across the box, so at 4 inches, and then I'll bring it in close here, and there's eyeballing the screw holes here, lining that center line up. It's real easy to get this screwed on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. I'll put links down below to everything I've talked about if you want to check anything out more. But whether you buy them or build them, you just can't beat a good jig. Until next time, take care.